Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and I have a very special guest on my show today for the first time ever. Nelly J is here.
What
Yes.
what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Loving your backdrop, by the way, Reese. Like, love it, love it, love it. This is a true Raptor show. Raptor things are going 2023, 2024. People forgot, Reese. People forgot
Oh
who we are.
yes.
So, you know
Yes.
what I'm
And it's
saying?
not it's not even done yet, but this is what it's, for the most part going to be. I have to represent and let people know who the mouth is and that this is a Raptors show and we're relaunching this show prior to the season, and when the season starts something crazy is going to happen, but I can't reveal that yet. It's going to be a surprise to everyone, but stay tuned for
Ooh.
opening night. Um but I invited Nelly on the show because I have 7 questions that are bothering me that I need to ask the Raptors fam out there, and there's no bigger fam than Nelly J, who is the co-host of Raptors Live TV. What else do you do? You're also on court. I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
now.
I do quite a few things. Yeah,
Yes,
let me catch up. So
yes.
I do co-hosting. So as you know, I'm one of the team members of Raptors Live TV. It's a fan-filled event where we do post-game shows. I also do run a Raptors Live watch party that I always did on Clubhouse, but now I might go to Twitter Spaces with it. I did a tweet out, and folks are like, "Yeah, do Twitter." Folks are saying do Clubhouse. So it's called Fan Club of Toronto Raptors. It's a dope space. We talk about all Raptor stuff. And we get a lot of non-Raptor fans coming in, giving us their perspective on their teams and giving us the knowledge, the 411 on what's happening on their squad. I also part of the Run Sports. Big up the runsports.com. And that is pretty much a lot of great things. So it's media, we cover all things high school players, you name it. And I really think I'm also doing some scouting as well. So, working with understanding more of, the grounds program, helping connecting the right people with the right folks. But I have been scouting for 2025, 2024, 2023, but now 2025, 2026, 2027 class for the ladies. So that's been great seeing what's up and coming talent is coming in on the ladies side. Big up to the Aces and the Liberty for amazing finals run for WNBA. Got to big up all the ladies out there because what the women's sports and women's basketball is elevating. So just happy to be a part of that. But yeah, man, I'm just here, just always looking to add to basketball, add to our knowledge. But of course, I'm a Raptors fan, so very excited to be helping and supporting all my Raptor folks this season. And yeah, of course, talking to all my Raptor fans, man. We're all fans of this team. And I feel like we've created a really strong bond. Especially guys, if you're a Raptor fan last season, you're a real one. Okay. You are a real one. If we watch those games in April, okay, and in March, you are a real Raptor fan. You ain't no fake thing. You understand? So a big up to those who stuck with this team, even though we had a rough year. I think it turned around a little bit. Not the best offseason, as you know, Reese, but
Mm-hmm.
what can we do? You know what I'm saying? We're here
Yeah,
now. We're here now.
this that last year was very painful. As you've heard me on Spaces, it was a very painful season. You've heard me on your space, and it was really rough. We survived. We got past that, and I, for one, am looking forward to this season. Not just because of the preseason, because I was one of the people who actually liked the moves that were made. I didn't mind losing Nick Nurse and Fred. I liked our draft pick and Grady Dick, and I liked our pickups as well. So those will bleed into the questions. I will say this is a Raptors show, but for women's basketball, shame on MLSEL for not bidding on a women's team here. I am telling you right now, we would have they would have been popular. I would have went to games. I mean, there's no
We
question. I
all
would
would
have went
have.
to go see the Aces. I would have went to go see the future star Caitlin Clark, who I believe is coming out this year. I would have watched them all, and I would have loved it. And it's a lot. It probably would have been a lot cheaper, which is great as well. So I am godsmacked that Toronto, our ownership, did not bid on this team and pulled out. It's a shame. We had like 50,000 people here to watch the all. I think it was the All Star game. That they was the showcase, and how you don't
Mm-hmm.
bid after that is a shame.
Absolute shame. I totally agree. And because it was the concert revenue, come on, y'all.
Yes, cop
I
out.
I could have brokered that deal. Reese, I could have brokered that deal. I could have found a way to make everyone happy, right? Like there's no way that they're having a concert there every single night in the summer. There's no way.
Correct.
I don't believe it. I
Absolutely.
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
No. So,
Yeah.
nonetheless, I still think basketball has a long way to go in Toronto and Canada. Like, I don't think the folks who are making decisions, let's be real, up there really are big basketball fans. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
We heard rumors
Absolutely
about
correct.
ownership and how not all, but some of them was treating Masai like not basketball to us. We're big fans, but this is still a hockey city, hockey country, and those who are making the decisions, unfortunately, are not, you know, champions of the sport. So I believe there'll be a team. Unfortunately, it just will not be, next year. So let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, total cop out. We'll see what happens in the future. But as I said to many people when we talked about this, I have a feeling ownership didn't want this. I don't think there's any excuse. I think there's a particular owner who did not want this and therefore pulled out. But very, very cheap ownership will cost you in the long run. So we'll see what
Mm-hmm.
happens there. If there's a change in ownership, which there could be in the future of this franchise that owns many teams, so it is kind of complicated, which we will talk about in the future. But let's go and talk about the Raptors. I have 7 questions. But believe you me, Nelly J was one of those people I wanted to ask these questions to, and so I will start with our lovely draft pick, Grady Dick. You know how much I love him. I predicted this in April. I said he will be a Toronto Raptor. I even said that we'll pick him at 13. Everyone else had doubts that he would drop. I did not. I thought he fit our roster. There were a couple of surprises that allowed him to drop to us. He's exactly what we need. There are some naysayers, but his energy all over the floor is awesome. He's making his threes now. He's just exactly what the team needs. Now, having said that, his minutes have been very inconsistent. This tonight he played more because it was a blowout. He made his threes and he was very effective. But it's a very bloated roster. Shocking after seeing our bench last year how bloated our roster is this year and how many spots are up for grabs. But what do you think his impact will be this year on the team?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, right? He's 6'8". Let's go to start from there. A 6'8" perimeter shooter who specializes in shooting the ball. Wow. I haven't
Yeah,
seen one of those on the Raptors in a while. Like,
yeah,
well, like actual like this is a specialty. This isn't a guy that
yes.
makes shots that I no. This is what he specializes in. So I'm
Mm.
just happy we got one because as everyone knows, I think we were either the third worst or at least the bottom of the league when it comes to 3-point shooting. But boy, we took a lot of 3-point attempts. A lot, right? A lot. To the point where when we took too many 3-point attempts, we'd actually would lose games because we weren't actually, doing things like passing the ball, driving to the hole. Also we didn't have a big either for half the season or more than that. So I think what he's going to do is going to spread the floor offensively. He will allow people like Pascal to have someone he can trust to pass out. Dennis Schroeder, another point guard that we have. I just think he's someone's a threat because with the Raptors, everyone knows how do you kill us by playing zone defense and having someone like Grady to come on the court. If our guys are struggling, it's going to help us with that, right? Knowing and everyone knows he's a shooter. Everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that's something we never had before. Gary Trent, when he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, he's not. OG, same. Like we have a lot of streaky shooters on our team, but we have someone now that the league's going to respect. So he comes on the court, try your zone. They probably will have to try man to man. And we play better on man to man D than on zone. So I think this will have us actually have more respect on the opposing teams. And they got to play more honest defense. Because last year, sometimes, man, you saw this. Everyone will be playing zone and signing like at least like, I don't know, a few inches away from the perimeter. And say, okay, guys, Raptors, if y'all want to beat us by shooting, right? Because we know y'all are all 6'9" vision, right? And so I just think Grady, he's 6'8". On the flip side, not the best defense, player, but at least he's 6'8". He got the wingspan. He's someone that, we can do a switch on, and he's a big body. And in basketball, the best defenders are just bigger. So I'm really happy. He plays a shooting guard too. So most shooting guards are not 6'8". Most of them are what, 6'4", maybe 6'5". So a 6'8" number shooting guard that can play the 2 or the 3, I think is very valuable in this NBA. So yeah. Also, my man's a Scorpio. Hello, big up to all the Scorpios. OVO, you know what I'm saying? Big up to that. But yeah, no, I'm a Scorpio myself. That's why I gotta always shout out the Scorpios. But no, like I think he fits this team perfectly. I was tweeting about Grady Dick, and saying that we need him. Like we need someone like him on our team. And like you said, I just didn't think any team would pass up on him because teams before us that had draft picks also struggled with shooting this season. They also did, but luckily we got him. So I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. Any situation where you see him not getting minutes on this team? Because I've been dealing with a lot of questions around Twitter where people are questioning whether he'll get the minutes necessary to be impactful. I'm shocked at this, but the roster is bloated with a lot of small forwards and shooting guards. So does Darko play him enough for him to be impactful?
Well, the roster hasn't been finalized yet, right? The preseason, we're going to see who's finalized, but I don't think we're going to have more 2s and 3s. I really think it'll be a lot of forwards, like 3s and 4s, right?
Right.
I think the only guys, remember, Otto Porter plays the 3 and 4. He's a big body. He's 6'9". Chris Boucher, 6'9". Like all those guys are all
Jalen
6'9" guys, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the only one that's actually a shooting guard off the bench is Grady Dick that I will give minutes to. Everyone else, respectfully, no. Like, you know what I mean? So he will get the minutes because those guys that I named aren't shooters. And in basketball, you have to shoot the basketball. So there's no question in my mind that he will not get the minutes because Darko knows that what he has in terms of talent, we got big bodies, we can rebound, we can defend, but we can't shoot. We can't shoot, man.
Yes.
That's it. So he will definitely get minutes. He'll probably be like 7th, 8th off the bench in terms of order. You know what I mean? I truly believe that it will be dependent on, our starters too, right? Because we know OG gets some bad nights. Scotty gets some bad nights shooting wise. Pascal's always consistent. Yak, I think those two, I think Pascal and Yak will all be consistent. And Dennis, he's really good at playmaking, not playmaking, but more like helping other guys get involved, right? The man had 11 assists tonight in a blowout. Like, we never had someone like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think having a pass first point guard with a Grady Dick, it's amazing. Malachi Flynn, if he gets minutes, if off the bench, Malachi with Grady Dick, he needs that. He needs a shooter with him, right? Because Malachi played better with like a Freddie or played better with like a Kyle Lowry back in the day. So I just think this will complement him as well. So yeah. And also having Precious and Boucher in the court with no shooter, we were hurting, right?
Yeah, not
especially
a good idea.
Gary Trent was not playing well, right? Big up to Gary Trent. He's having a phenomenal preseason, but like when he was off, our bench was really trash. It was pretty evident. So we definitely need Grady Dick. I don't want to rely on Precious Achua to drop 15 off the bench every night. Like I think we'll have a pretty good season, but having the pressure off of Precious to shoot 3s and Boucher, having Grady Dick with that Otto Porter, Malachi Flynn, we actually have a pretty good solid second unit that I think we can work with. And it's plugging and playing, right? It's about matchups, it's about who's hot, who's not hot. What's the better matchup? What's the better, group lineup? Because I can see Darko really mixing up Grady Dick with the Pascal Siakam, right? Pascal Siakam at a Scotty Barnes. Like I can see him making lots of different lineups based on who we're playing. So Grady Dick, not the best defender, but man, when he's shooting, keep him on the court. Period.
He's got a quick release and long body, runs all over the court. I think he's more useful than people realize, even as a player that uses his length and runs off ball. So we shall see what happens with Mr. Dick. Now I'm going to ask you about Scotty Barnes. This man is an enigma that I've never quite seen in Toronto in a long, long time. A guy with all the talent in the world, maybe not the best motor, sometimes has the motors, sometimes doesn't. Not the best outside shooter, although he's having a crazy preseason until he got hurt today. great downhill, a guy that I think is better inside as a big. My question to you is this: will he have a significant leap? And when I say a significant leap, he's the second guy on the team that's behind Pascal, and he's impacting winning every night on his way to possibly becoming an all-star, not plateauing like he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, we know who was in the way. We know who, and now he's gone.
We
Like
know.
it's pretty simple.
Yep.
We know. I don't gotta say a name. We're all in agreement together. We know who was
Yep.
in the way. Now he's out, right? We have someone playing in that position that wants to get these guys involved. He looks for his teammates. He knows their spots, right? He's also a threat in terms of we can't leave him open as well, right? We saw him win Finals MVP at FIBA. Not the best and think he's a great player, but this man helps impacts winning. He
Yes.
impacts winning.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, hell yeah, I see Scotty Barnes being the number two. I think he's going to average over 20 points this season, period. I think he's going to have a great year. And the great thing about this, too, is that Scotty can play with anyone. He's a plug and play guy, Swiss Army knife, everyone says. But not only that, I really think he has something to prove this year. I can tell the way he's approaching the game. He's more focused. He's more engaged. Where I think we were like, what's wrong with Scotty? I don't think he was motivated. And from hearing the players speaking, they all feel like there's camaraderie, there's unison, right? No more selfishness. I mean, I want to see that thing happening this year. So I'm just really, really happy for Scotty. I'm happy that he stuck through it. Like sophomore woes are gone. And I do think this season, him and Pascal and OG, that three, I think they had the best trio for the Raptors in terms of just production, scoring wise, right? And defensively. So now with the Yak, who we just got literally after the All-Star break, and we saw his impact right away. Okay. And then it showed who's actually a point guard. And then
Yes.
we actually have a Gary Trent off the bench who won't feel pressured to score because now he has a Grady Dick there. Like, I just think this team, yes, I don't think we're the most talented team in the league, but I think we got something here where we can definitely steal some wins
Yes.
against any team this
Yeah.
year. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some really good teamwork basketball. We saw Miami Heat, not the best talented team in the world, but they just out hustled everyone. They out
Yeah.
hustled every team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So again, if you just work hard, you're engaged, get your check, right? Get other guys involved, build confidence amongst your teammates. We don't know what can happen in the playoffs, right? I'm not saying we got Jimmy Butler, we don't got one, but what if someone becomes him, right? We don't know
Yeah.
that yet. This
Yeah.
team is so young, right? And it's so much potential.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what they can do with this squad. And I'm excited to see what Darko does this season. I really am.
Yeah, that's the key for me. Watching Darko and watching the ball movement, which I was begging for last year. Please move the basketball. Enough
Mm-hmm.
with the ISO basketball. I'm so tired of seeing ISO basketball. Everyone's
Man.
moving the ball. Everyone's moving off the basketball. There's more drives, which I begged for. You have athletic players drive the basketball, kick out, set guys up better. You won't be so tired on the defensive end because you're not doing so much. You're not running for offensive
Mm-hmm.
rebounds off all the clanks. So Darko is huge here. This is a very important season for Scotty Barnes. I think he really needs to take that leap and show people what he can do. And I think Darko is going to open that up for him. So I have high hopes for Scotty. This offense should unlock him, along with not having we know who and you know who in Philadelphia and
Yeah.
Houston.
Thou shalt not say their name. Thou
Correct.
shalt not say
They're
their
gone. We don't need to mention their names anymore.
No, we don't.
I'll
Like,
let the
and
reporters
there's
in
no hate
Toronto do that.
either. There's no hate either. Like, I don't got it. Like, there's no hate. Like, thank you for what you've done. We'll always have respect for these guys. Toronto will always be home for them. Like, there's no bad
Yeah.
blood. I just think that now we're in a new era. And I also think they were ready to grow too. Like, it's not like it was a one-sided thing. I think both sides were ready to depart. And we
Yeah.
heard how Freddie's told Masai, like, that's like family. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick,
Mhm.
like, that's family. Like, everyone is just like, yo, good luck with your future. Wish you all the best. We're
Yeah.
playing both those guys in October, I think, coming
Yeah.
up in November. So
Yeah.
I cannot wait. But there's no bad blood, man. This is family. I just think right now our focus is on Siakam, Scotty, and getting those two guys hot, getting them ready, having a roster around them where they can be that tandem. And, we've seen many great duos in the past. And who knows what can happen with this duo. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see. Yeah.
All right. Now let's go to, I'm going to try to be nice, Nelly. The bench.
Oh.
Nelly, I was on Raptors Live TV many times last year, bemoaning the absolutely horrific bench, which was 29th in the NBA last year. For people who don't know, that's second last in the NBA because there's only 30 teams.
Yeah.
Where will the bench rank this year? I can't imagine it can be any worse.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I'll give the Raptors some grace. I think Otto Porter could have averaged legit 12 off the bench every night, right?
Sure.
Sometimes our bench was giving us like 7 points because we're relying on Chris Boucher and Precious. They're not score. They're not in the NBA to be scorers. These guys were not drafted. They were not picked up to specialize in scoring in the NBA. So we got what we got, right? And what happened is that with the injuries, with Otto being out, it really handicapped us because we really relied on Otto Porter to be that bench person. Delano didn't do what we thought he could do. Malachi wasn't shooting the way. Like, there's a lot of moving parts as why our bench was not great. I think this year, having an Otto, having Trent off the bench with Grady Dick, I would say that would probably be, I would say between 10, no, I would say 12 to 15
mid-pack
in the league.
Yeah, mid-pack.
The mid. I think we'll be the mid for sure. For the sure. Yeah. But remember, to some teams that have guys who are averaging 20 off the bench. Like, they had guys that were starters. Like, Malcolm Brogdon couldn't start, but he was off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that was by design, right? Because they wanted a second unit that was strong. So the Raptors were very top heavy in terms of keeping guys, but we never really had a bench. We tried to get a bench, but those guys, Will Barton didn't pan out to be who we thought he could be. Otto Porter was hurt. Like, the team tried, right? They got talent coming in, but it just did not pan out. So hopefully this year everyone stays healthy, health as well. So just hoping that these guys can be healthy and be right. But yeah, I think mid.
Yeah, I think the bench can't be any worse. It's got to be better this year. I like Jalen McDaniels as well. Like, we've got players that can actually give us something: energy, shooting, rebounding. We have a bunch of different players that can give us different things. So a lot of options for Darko, which is good. We didn't really have a lot of options last year, and
no, we didn't. We were desperate.
I mean, that's why we had 3 of the top 5 players in minutes last year. So there's starters. So that's the reason we had no one to go to. So I know everyone wants to blame Nick. Nick had his faults, but I kind of don't blame him that we didn't have a bench. So he had to try to win games and play the starters. That's it.
I mean, the coaches need talent. Look at Bill Belichick. Hello? I'm sorry, it's NFL strategy, but look at Greg Popovich. His team has been the bottom of the bottom the last how many years. He's a great coach, though. But if you don't got the talent on your roster, there's not much you can do as a coach. And unfortunately, we didn't have the talent. That's why we were playing our starters to the ground.
Yeah. Mid 41-41, which, by the way, was a miracle that we actually had 41 wins last year, considering how disjointed the team was, the offense was. It's a miracle we won that many games.
But to your point, it's because, like, Jakob Poeltl, when he came in, I'm sure we had a winning record because we never had a center. We're playing small ball, like our name is the Warriors, but we have 6'9" guys that can't shoot. It was pretty atrocious what happened the last couple seasons. Listen, even the year before that, us making to the playoffs, I'm impressed because we weren't. But then that year we had, I think Trent and Freddie were shooting over how much percentage from the 3-point line.
Oh, they were going crazy.
Really well that year.
Right.
Crazy. Right. And then last year we had no shooters and then it went down. But we were still, 41 wins. That's still impressive. So I think our team is better than last season. Like, I really do.
100%.
I think it's a better team. And I think it has more hierarchy. It's clearer who's doing what. Like, you can't come and say, no, we know who's who. There's no confusion anymore. I think last year was a fog, a fog in the night. Now we have clarity. And I think sometimes you need clarity. And so let's see what happens. But my concern was that our identity was missing last season. And so our bench was a part of our identity the year before. The bench mob was amazing, big up to Diversified. I forgot what he called Boucher and Precious, but they come off the bench and be rebounding, defending. Like, it was a big thing, right? I think to have at least 5 or 6 between them offensive rebound, just putbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like just like
Energy.
like controlling the boards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm hoping this year our bench understands. We need y'all. This ain't going.
Yeah.
We need 1 through 8. Everyone got to step up today. This season. There's not one guy that cannot have a day off. I'm sorry,
Yes.
no
Yeah.
days off this year.
All right, Nelly, I'm going to put you in the coach's huddle. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now you're the coach. It's not Darko. It's not Nick Nurse. You're the coach. It's
Mm-hmm.
game one. It's opening game against Minnesota. Who's your starting lineup, and who is closing the game for you?
So Minnesota. Okay, I gotta look at their starting rosters because you know me, I'm looking at matchups.
Yes.
So with
Yes.
Minnesota, they play big, right? They have
Yeah.
Rudy got the 5, Forrest Cat, and then they got Jaden McDaniels, and Ant-Man McConley, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, for the matchups, I'm definitely gonna put Dennis Schroeder at number 1. I think him and Mike Conley. I think those guys. I think that's a good matchup. At
Mm-hmm.
the 2 guard, picking up Ant-Man for sure. OG Anunoby, put him at the 2. Would love that. I think that's the matchup I would want. Jaden McDaniels, OG. That's definitely something I would like to have. 4, Cat versus Siakam. And 5, Pirtle versus Rudy Gobert. To close out the game, I will probably either keep Schroeder if need be. If not, I'm going to put Gary Trent and move Scotty at the 1 to get the mismatch. Move up. Oh no, I'll move up OG to the 3, and I'll probably put yeah, I'll put OG to the 3, Scotty at the 1, Trent at the 2, and probably playing a bit of zone. So I force them to shoot the ball and not go inside. So I'll end it with a zone defense with those 5
Mm-hmm.
in the game, and really have Cat and Ant-Man and Mike shoot threes like that. That's
So
what I would do.
so Perto will still be your center to close out
Yes,
the game.
yes. Well,
Okay.
if Rudy Gobert to the court, yes. If they
Okay.
pull out Rudy, because sometimes they pull out Rudy, then no. I would then move Siakam up to the center. But also I might even depending on who's hot off the bench, if it's Thad Young is a good closer. He just does the right plays. In worst case, I might just put Dennis Schroeder back at the 1 and move everyone up to 5. So Dennis Schroeder with Gary Trent, Siakam, Scotty, and OG. But it depends
Right.
who's hot though off the bench. Like who's having a good night. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think Gary Trent plays really well because remember he's from Minnesota, so he typically has good games against them. So I definitely want Trent to junior GTJ to close out that game. But that's who I would have on the
Okay.
floor. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you for your GM hat, your Masai Ujiri.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, people, I'm doing this because Masai doesn't give us any answers. We watch pressers and we waste our time
Yeah.
and he gives us nothing. So I'm asking the people,
Just
the fam
parables.
out
Give us
there, okay?
parables.
So give us some answers because Masai is not going to give us anything. So which of Pascal Siakam, OG, and Gary Trent Jr. will still be Raptors after the trade deadline?
Ooh. Honestly, I feel I can see OG being traded. I really can.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I think Pascal and Gary Trent, I think they're trending to stay. I just think with OG, and again, I love OG. Like everyone knows, I love
Yeah.
OG. I would love for him to stay, but because of his agency and what they're pushing, I think we'll get a fairer deal out of all those 3. We'll get a better deal for him versus the other guys. I think teams will try to rob us with Pascal and GTJ. So I think OG will probably get a lot more than we would probably get with the other 2 in terms of value, right? I'm not saying, you know what I mean, in terms of value. So, and we'll get OG. Now, for OG, the question would be at that time, are we looking for picks? Are we looking for draft capital to then trade for something else? I don't know. But I feel like with Masai, I think they're going to try to extend his contract only if he wants to, of course, be here. And if not, then OG better play his behind off so we can trade him and get something out of it. Don't come in and not play well, but and then we can't trade you for a higher value.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can
Yeah.
see. Listen, I can see all those contending teams can use an OG, but
Yeah.
are they willing to give us draft capital? And does Masai want draft
Right.
capital? I know in this upcoming draft, there's some guys coming out that I think of the 2026 draft, I think has a lot of up and coming talent in that class. So it could be picks from that class. Who knows, right? Because
Yeah.
by that time, I feel like Scotty will be in a better, light. And so
Right.
maybe we're timing for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be
Yeah.
OG out of all
Yeah.
those three.
Depends on how we do first couple of months, what our record is. There's a lot of different variables, but the way I look at it is this: Gary Trent and Siakam have made statements saying they want to be Raptors. OG has
Yeah.
not. So
Hello.
therefore, you need to really think about moving OG. And just judging on the preseason, OG seems to be like the odd man out in the offense. He
I
seems kind
agree.
of lost. He just doesn't seem to be fitting in, because he's a guy who doesn't want to just sit in the corner and hit threes. He wants to be the man who gets to, have the ball more often. So I think he needs to be traded before
Well,
it's too late.
what's so funny is that he wants the ball in his hands more, but his handles are trash.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Hello? Bro,
It's
you be
bad.
falling and tripping on your own feet. No one.
Yep.
Like there's times he drives and literally trips on his own feet getting to the
Yep.
rim. So OG, again, I'm not trying to knock you, man, but listen, if you want that ball in your hand, get better. Just get better. Just
Yes.
improve,
Yeah.
improve your handles, have a better finish at the rim, know your body, like your the twist, like be comfortable under the rim. I don't feel like he's comfortable under the rim. I don't
No,
think
he's
so.
not.
And
No.
that's why he doesn't get the ball enough, because when he goes inside, we're like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? Will either be a great finish, or it's gonna be like oh man, he tripped on himself again. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's
Love
not
OG,
pretty.
but love OG, but again, I'm never against anyone that said they want the ball in their hands, but you got to prove it. This is
Yeah.
basketball. You got to prove it. You know what I'm saying? You got to
That's,
show your coach that you deserve the ball in your hand.
yeah.
And you only do that by performing on the court. So let's see
Yeah.
if you can do that. We'll see.
Yeah. Now, I was going to ask this, but I don't need to because we've already talked about it. And the question was, will we miss Fred VanVleet? Short answer, neither one of us. I think we're going to
No,
miss Fred VanVleet.
but will he miss us? He's getting paid 43 mil.
Exactly.
This guy,
He's got the
this guy
bag.
has made. Listen, Freddie's not going to miss us, and we're not like it's both sides, right? Like
Yes.
he's getting paid double salary
It's
in
crazy.
Houston,
Yeah.
which is warm all year round. Okay,
Yeah.
I heard they have good food there too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's good, and we're good.
And we're good. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, I wish Freddie all the best. He's now going to be a leader, a veteran leader on a team. He's the highest paid on his team. It's probably the highest paid undrafted player, I think, probably ever in history.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like Freddie has established himself in the history books as an undrafted player. What he's done has been remarkable. He's a champion. He stepped up in big moments when our guys were injured. I have nothing but love for Freddie, but it was time for him to leave us, and vice versa. It was just a two-way street here. So
Yep. So now we get to the last question, the most important question.
Ooh. Okay.
What will the Raptors record be this year, and what seed will they finish in?
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do a hot take, even though I don't think it's hot. I think we'll probably finish. Yeah. For some reason, I'm being drawn to 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. So I think we'll be. Yeah. I'll say 7. I'll say 7, 6-7. Like between there, we'll probably battling for a 6-7 spot. But yeah, I say 6 or 7 because again, I respect Cleveland. I think Jalen Brunson is a problem. Donovan Mitchell with that Cleveland team's a problem. There's Chicago Bulls. They're coming back. Pacers are healthier now. We got Philly still. We got the Bucks. We got Boston. We got Miami, who's always a threat. The East is no joke. So I like on both conferences, Reese, my thing is health.
Yeah.
The healthiest team is going to have a better record. That's what it's tied to. Because to be honest, a lot of these teams are pretty similar. But if your guy is down, you can be beat.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the team with the less load management and actually has more, more in-game health. I think they're going to be the top 6. And Toronto, we,
Mhm.
we have a young squad. Our team is not old. We got no type of. I think only Thad is the eldest. I think probably.
Yeah.
I think, but our team's a young team, so we're pretty good in that department. I think when it comes to health.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned. But I'm feeling 6-7, 6-7. What about you? What do you think about
Yes, I
our?
have them in the sixth seed with 44 wins, so three more
Mm,
than last year. And in the sixth seed, I think that'll be good enough for the sixth seed. So I'm thinking
yeah,
6 or 7, same thing, 44
yeah,
wins. I don't think it's hot take at all. I think they're better than they were last year. I think the new coach is going to help. The ball movement is going to help. Their defense should be excellent this year, way better than it was last year. I think it'll be better
yeah.
offensively, and their bench will be better. I don't think there's anything negative here outside of the contracts that are left on 3 players and their statuses. Other than that, it should be all positive going forward. So I
I
only have
agree.
a minute left. I am loving this conversation with Nelly J. My questions are over. I am gonna re-talk to Nelly J so I can say goodbye properly. But this is the show. I'd like to thank Nelly J for coming on. You can catch her on Raptors Live TV. I will be joining her watch parties for sure. I did not know those were around. I'm going to link up with her right after the show to
Yep.
find out about that. And I will be chatting Raptors all year. I have more guests coming all before the season starts. And then I'm going to relaunch the show as Raptors Reese Report. So I'm looking forward to that. You guys are not going to want to miss opening night, let me tell you. But for now, in the mouth of the North Angeles, that's Nelly J. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time on the Reese Report.